welcome everybody to yoga this morning. I want to give a big thank you for inviting me to be with you this morning and guide you through your practice. And whether this is your 100th or 1,000th time moving your way through your mat or your very first yoga class, my hope is that you take something away today that you can take with you off of the mat. And know that every time you arrive on your mat, you arrive as a different person. And we have the power to create our experience. So every time you step on this mat, you get to create the experience you want to have and take with you. So it is an honor for me to be with you today as you create this experience. A little bit about me. My name is Jill Krause. I am a yoga teacher. I'm a certified yoga breath coach. I'm a health and life coach, mother of 4, breast cancer survivor. And yoga has really changed my life, and it is always my pleasure and my gift to share this beautiful practice with others. So today I would love to start with some breath work. Breath is one of the most powerful tools we own. And unfortunately, we're not taught how to use our breath to help us create the experience, as I was saying, that we truly want in our life. So breath helps us clear our mind. It helps us soften our bodies. It helps us with heart rate, digestion, sleep, mood, concentration. The amount that the breath can do is so powerful. So the breath I'd like to walk through with you all today is called triangle breath. So if you imagine a triangle, we will be doing an inhale for a count of 4 up one side of the triangle, an exhale for a count of 4 down the other side of the triangle, and then a hold across the bottom of the triangle. So when we hold in breath, in this conscious breathing called pranayama in yoga, we want to do so that we are actually plugging the nose, so that no breath is escaping. And one way of doing that is to plug the nose using our hand. And we place our hand in a specific hand posture. And that way, when we put our hand in that posture, we signal to the brain that we are doing deep breathing. So it's like an anchor. The brain sees this hand gesture and it automatically knows that you're going to be doing deep breathing. So this hand gesture is sort of like a hang 10 or a hang loose. So your thumb is going to be out, your pinky is going to be out, and this ring finger is going to be out. It might be a little awkward, and that's okay. You can use your other hand to push that ring finger back. So then the pointer finger and the middle finger are down. You will use the thumb to plug the right nostril and the ring finger to plug the left nostril. And then plug it closed when I say hold. When you are not plugging, that hand is just resting on that right knee. Your left hand is resting on the left knee. So let's go ahead and get ourselves ready for this breath work. So go ahead and drop eyes closed, nice and softly. Kind of bring your shoulders and round them down your back. Soften the belly. Have a straight spine, but not stiff. Little soft in the spine and soft in the shoulders. Releasing any tension in your jaw. So again, I will count you in for this breath work. So we're going to go ahead and inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Plug the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hand. Come back to your regular breath, keeping eyes closed. And just scan the body and notice if there are any changes with just those 5 rounds of breath. Your breath can be used to recenter and reset. We have this autonomic nervous system that functions, takes place without any thought, heart rate, digestion, sleep. And it can either be in this fight or flight or a rest and digest. And the autonomic nervous system is set up to switch between this fight and flight and rest and digest every 90 minutes. However, most of us, most Americans, do not fluctuate between the two every 90 minutes. For most of us, we stay in this fight or flight, in a chronic low-level stress for most of the day. And when we stay in that low chronic stress, it can have some adverse health consequences. High blood pressure, headaches, poor digestion, poor sleep. And with this free, easy to access, powerful breath, we can change all of that. We can decrease our heart rate. We can lower our blood pressure. We can improve digestion, improve sleep, improve our concentration, our focus, and our mood. And most importantly, we can move through life with a responsive state versus a reactive state. Stress is always going to be there. But how can we manage that stress? Can we come to it in a responsive way and not a reactive way? The answer is yes, with the power of the breath. So go ahead and open your eyes. And we're going to come on down onto our backs. So gently lower yourself all the way down, bending your knees. Feet are flat on the mat. Arms are by your side. Chin is parallel. So if you notice your chin is reaching up towards the ceiling, draw it back down so it is parallel. And we're going to warm up the back side of the body. This might be a little different than any other yoga classes you come to. And one of the reasons I start by warming up the back side of the body and then the front side of the body is that so when we stand, we are moving through poses with a sense of strength and stability because we've already warmed up our glutes and our abdominal wall. So your feet are planted flat on the mat. Your hip joints are drawn towards each other. You're pressing your navel, belly button towards the spine, starting to turn on this front side of the body. Pressing down with your feet, you're going to take an inhale, and then with an exhale, you're going to lift the hips. So you're in this little bridge pose, but our ribs are staying down, so we're not flaring out into a back bend. Holding ourselves nice and tight, starting to fire up your glutes. You might want to even come around and poke them to wake them up. Our glutes are lazy. They like to turn off. Sometimes we just need to poke them and remind them that we need them to wake up. So we're squeezing, holding our glutes up, warming them up, firing them up. Just holding here. You might start to feel a little fire burning. That is awesome. We like that. It means we're awake and alive, able to feel. And we're going to begin to start doing a little pulse. So we're lowering and lifting the hips. And while we're doing that, we're going to lift arms up to the sky. We're going to take these left fingers and grab the right fingers and pull them back towards the face, warming up our wrists for when we are doing some of our poses and postures that need our wrists. So we're pulling these right fingers back towards our face, and we're going to do these pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop the pulses. Keep your hips lifted. Release those left fingers pulling the right. Switch sides. So now the right fingers are taking the left, pulling them down towards your face. And this time we're going to open and close our legs ever so slightly, maybe an inch. Opening and closing. We're now getting the outside of our glutes. So we're warming up the entire glute so that it is ready to hold us when we come to our standing postures. So we are squeezing, we're feeling that fire on the outside of the glutes. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop the pulsing, release those left fingers, and draw those hips all the way down to the mat. And then just windshield wiper your legs, releasing your glutes. So bringing your knees to one side and then the other. Nice job. And then bring those knees back to center. So now we've warmed up the back side of the body, and we're going to start warming up the front side of the body. So you're going to bring your knees up to a reversed tabletop. And we want those knees stacked right over the hips to maximize our work output. So hands are going to come behind your head. We're gently cradling the head in our hands. We're going to take an inhale, draw those elbows towards each other, and then exhale, lift up. Your gaze can even be at the abdominal wall. Inhale, release down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, down. 2 more like this. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last time like this. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. We're going to add on. So take an inhale, draw those elbows towards each other. Exhale, lift and straighten that left leg. About 45 degrees. Bring it back in, lower down. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Lower that right leg. Bring it back in, lower down. Adding on one more time. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift. Extend that left leg. And then bring that right arm across, lifting the left shoulder off of the mat. Squeezing everything together. We feel this. We are firing for 3, 2, 1. And back to center. Lower down. One more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Extend that right leg. Extend that left arm across while lifting that right shoulder off of the mat. 4, 3, squeeze. 2, and 1. In through center, lower down. Bring your feet down to the mat. Bring that mat distance apart so both feet are on the edges of their respective sides. And then drop the knees over to the left. Press that knife edge of the right foot down. It turns on that right glute, which gives this nice stretch in the front of that right hip, down that right hip flexor. And then come up through center, dropping the knees over to the right, pressing that left foot down, turns on that left glute, and again gives that stretch down the front of that left hip flexor. Continue with that breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then coming through center, lift those knees up, give them a nice squeeze, wrap your arms around, squeeze them in. And we're going to make our way up to our hands and knees. You can roll over to your side, press yourself up, and come over onto your hands and knees, or crossing your ankles and begin rolling yourself forwards and backwards, making your way up and over into your tabletop. When we arrive in tabletop, we want to stack our shoulders right over the wrists, our knees right under our hips, and this nice, stable tabletop. Now we just worked and fired this abdominal area, but now we need to fight gravity. So it's nice and easy to let everything just hang out there. We want to hold everything together. So those hip joints are still drawn towards each other. The navel still pressing into the spine. And we're going to take some cat and cows to warm up the spine. So on your inhale, you're going to drop the belly. You're going to lift the tail, lift the chest and the chin. Exhale, you're going to press that navel to spine. You're going to begin rounding through the spine. Chin's going to come to chest, and you round through everything. Cat. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze and the chest. Exhale, round, navel presses to spine. Chin to chest, press those hands down into the mat. Breathe into the back body. And exhale, come back to that nice neutral spine. Then tuck your toes under. Begin lifting through the legs, pressing yourself back, lifting the hips into your first downward facing dog. Now knees can be bent as much as needed. We are just energetically drawing the heels down towards the mat, but they do not have to meet. Legs do not have to be straight. Yoga should never feel painful. So if it does, modify. We want yoga to always feel healing and good in the body. It is not how it looks, it is how it feels. So these hands, we're spreading those fingers wide. We're dialing the hands out as if we were opening a jar, but our hands are stuck in cement. So we want that action of dialing them out, but they're not actually moving. Our head is back in space. We're not dropping the head here. It's in line with your arms. Our hips are lifting to the sky. And if you peek back and you can see your heels, draw them out so they hide behind the legs. Lift the kneecaps. So you're shining the back of the legs to the back of the room. And we're in downward facing dog. And we're going to find our breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Why the nose? Inside our nose, we have these receptors. When we breathe through the nose, those receptors send signals to the brain that you are calm and you are safe. So even in this inverted posture, we are letting the brain know that everything is good. So let's find one more round of breath. Let's take an inhale, biggest inhale you've had yet today. Hold it at the top for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly exhale it all the way out. And then look to the space between your hands. And we're going to walk our feet all the way there. And find our first forward fold of the day. So your feet are hips distance apart. And one way to measure that is 2 fist distance is about our hips width. Our body's so cool like that. So if you put your fists together and place them between your feet, that's your hips distance. Most of us feel like our hips are way bigger than they are. So for most of us, we need to draw them in a little closer. Knees bent, again, as much as needed. Even resting your chest right on your thighs. Head is reaching down towards the mat as if there's a magnet pulling you straight down to earth. Arms can hang, or they can take opposite elbows in ragdoll. And it might feel really good to sway your hips side to side, rolling onto the outside edge of your feet. Might feel really good. Shake your head, yes or no, releasing any muscle tension that you might still be holding on to. And we're just breathing here. Again, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Let's take one more like this. And then land in stillness if you are moving. Ground down into your feet. Bend your knees. Root to rise all the way up. Arms come out and up. Palms touch. Your gaze is at your thumbs. And you exhale, hands to heart center. Dropping eyes closed. Let's rub our hands together, building up heat. Take an inhale. Exhale, place that heat onto your heart. And let's set a mantra for today. I am the creator of my experience. Repeat that to yourself. And then exhale it out into the world. And then drop your hands by your side, coming to mountain pose. So let's lift all 10 toes and then drop them down one at a time. Lifting the arches, lifting the kneecaps, turning on the front side of the body. And again, turning on the back side. It's probably fallen asleep again. Mine already has. You might want to poke it and say, wake up, we need you. This abdominal area is still drawing towards each other in like a diamond. So drawing everything in this diamond. Shoulders are rounding down your back. And ears are stacking over shoulders. What happens to a lot of us when we're on the computers, we get this jut, right? We jut forward. So we want to pull this back, stacking the shoulders right under the ears. And chin is parallel. Mountain pose. It's a heart opener pose, shining the heart forward. Let's take an inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips. All the way down. Again, knees bent as much as needed. Inhale to a halfway lift, lengthening through the spine, shining the heart forward. Exhale, release. Hands come down to the mat. Step back with the right leg, then the left. Find your high plank. Now, just like in that mountain pose, everything is stacking. We've just tipped that mountain pose over now into plank. So everything is stacking. Turn those glutes on. Squeeze those legs together. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower the knees. We're going to draw those elbows back, grazing the ribs. They're right next to the body. Raising the ribs all the way down. We're going to lift to low cobra. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Shining the heart forward. Letting the heart push through the arms. Exhale, lower down. Press back into your tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. We're back to downward facing dog. Reestablish that dog. Spread those fingers wide. Lift the kneecaps. Navel's pressing to spine. We're checking for those heels. We're hiding them behind the legs, and we're finding 3 rounds of breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Let's take one more together. Inhale. This time, open your mouth, sigh it all the way out. Again, let's look to the space between our hands. Step or walk your feet all the way up. Inhale to that halfway lift, where the spine is nice and long. We're shining the heart forward. Exhale, release your hands down, hinging from the hips. Bend the knees, rise all the way up. Arms go out and up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's come back to our mantra. I am the creator of my experience. Hands by your side, Tadasana, mountain pose again. Stacking, turning everything on. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Come on down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, shine the heart forward. Exhale, release. Again, we're stepping back to that high plank. Knees can always come down. Listen to the body. How does it feel? Not how it looks. One more inhale. Exhale, knees come down for everybody. We bring the elbows right next to the body. We lower down. Inhale to low cobra. Or if you want this time, straighten those arms. Come to high cobra. But again, we listen to what the body needs. Not what we think it needs, but what it actually needs. How does it feel in my body? Exhale, lower down. Press back through your tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Find your breath. 3 rounds. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Next, inhale, that right leg lifts. Gonna step it forward, dropping that left heel, and then rising up, finding warrior 1. So for warrior 1, we want our hips facing forward. For most of us, when we rise, our hips are in a diagonal. So how can we bring them here? We're going to draw that right hip back so that left hip comes forward. Might even need your hands to rotate, to draw that right hip back and that left hip forward. We might need to move this left leg out. And if that is still not feeling good in your body, pivot onto those back toes and lift that heel off altogether. It's how it feels, not how it looks. Lift the arms up to the sky. Warrior 1. Maybe even dropping eyes closed and seeing how it feels in the body. We're going to take one more inhale. Lift up your gaze, maybe to where the ceiling and the wall come together. Exhale, hands come all the way down. They frame the foot. We step that right foot back, finding downward facing dog. We're going to do that same thing on the left. So on your inhale, lifting that left leg up towards the sky. And then sending it forward between the legs, between the hands, dropping that right foot, and then rising up, warrior 1 on the left. So again, we're going to draw this left hip back so that right hip comes forward. Maybe stepping this right foot out a little wider, or pivoting all together onto that right foot, onto those right toes. Lifting arms up to the sky. Breathing here. And just taking note of any differences between your right side and the left side. We would all love to think that we are symmetrical. We are not. So just meet your body where it is. One side might have more space. One side might be a little stickier. It's okay. Meet with curiosity and not judgment. Isn't it interesting that this left leg is a little stickier? Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands come down and frame your foot. This time we're drawing that left leg back to that high plank. Always dropping the knees if that is where it feels the best to you. Holding this plank for one more inhale. Exhale, knees come down. Those elbows raise the body. We inhale to your heart opener, whether it is low cobra or high cobra. We send those shoulder blades back together and the heart shines forward. Exhale, lower down. Press back through your tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. Next inhale, we lift that right leg. We step it forward between the hands, drawing that left foot down, rising up to your warrior 1. Taking one inhale, and then on your exhale, you're going to windmill those arms open, finding warrior 2. So warrior 2 now, this back foot is parallel to the back side of the mat. Your right foot is facing forward, that right knee is bent. Our shoulders are stacking right over our hips. So we're not too far into the future or too far into the past. We are right here in this present moment. Now remember when we were in tabletop, I was telling you to dial those hands out. We're gonna do the same thing with our feet. So this right foot is dialing out towards the right, but it's stuck in cement. What that does is turns on this right glute so that right knee can open and be in line with the pinky, right? We want this right knee open. Feel the difference when we do that. Breathe in here. Gaze is over that right hand. We've got one more inhale. Exhale, you flip the right palm. You bring this right arm over your head. Left arm reaches down that left leg. Peaceful warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, you windmill the hands down to the ground. You frame your foot. You step that right leg back, finding downward facing dog, finding your breath. Next inhale, you lift that left leg, stepping it forward, dropping that right heel, rising up, warrior one on the left. I just rotated so you could see me when I open up. Take an inhale, then exhale, we open the arms again, we find warrior two on the left. So that right foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. Your left foot is facing forward. Arms are extended. And again, we're dialing that left foot out, but it's stuck in cement. So that turns on that left glute, opening the knee towards the pinky. And we're reaching those fingers wide and long. Finding your strength, breathing here. We're not holding our breath, right? The breath is the power. Next inhale, you flip this left palm up. You bring that arm up and over your head. That right arm comes down. You take an inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands down, framing the foot. This time, stepping back to that high plank, whether knees up or knees down, yogi's choice. Take an inhale, exhale, lower down. Inhale to your heart opener of choice. Exhale, lower down. Press back through your tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. Find one more round of breath. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh it all the way out. Look to the space between your hands. Step or walk your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend your knees, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. And then come to queen chair, where we're sitting down in our imaginary throne. Our hips sink. Our legs and knees are drawing towards each other, and our chest is nice and lifted. Heart is shining forward. Arms can be out. Arms can be at heart center. Goalposts. We're holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to come to some balance. So we're going to come to tree pose. So we're going to come back to that mountain pose. So we're going to lift all 10 toes and then drop them all down. Lifting the arches, lifting the kneecaps, turning on the front side of the body, turning those glutes back on, drawing everything together in midline. This time, though, we're going to come to one leg, so we can come to tree. So we're going to bring all the weight to this left foot. Then we're going to lift up the heel on the right, drawing that heel in towards the left leg into kickstand. This can be tree today, a beautiful tree. Or if you'd like, you can bring your foot up a little, below or above the knee. We do not want to press right into the knee. Or if you'd like, you can bring this foot up a little higher into your inner thigh, pressing the foot into the leg, opening the knee to the back of the room, and then growing your branches, taking them wherever you want. Trees come like humans in all different shapes, sizes. And most time, trees do not stand absolutely still. So if your tree is blowing in the wind, beautiful. Let's hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring that right foot down. Shake the legs out. Come to mountain pose so we can establish this on the other side. So again, lifting the toes of the right foot, lifting the kneecap, turning on the front of the leg, turning on the glute, hugging everything together in this diamond, and then pivoting that left foot into kickstand. Holding here, or drawing the foot up, or up a little higher. Always knowing you can hold on to a wall for any balance poses. Breathing here, growing your branches. Holding, breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Bring this left foot in, drop it down, shake the legs. Find your Tadasana mountain pose one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, shine that heart forward, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release. Step your legs back. Find your downward facing dog. Last time. Find an inhale. Exhale, release. Next inhale, we're going to look to the space between the hands. Step or walk your feet forward and then come all the way down onto your bottom. Going to bring legs to butterfly. So feet come together. Knees drop to the side. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, hinge forward, dropping the head heavy. Maybe shaking your head yes or no. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Rise up. Gently bring your knees in towards each other and gently roll yourself all the way down, hugging your knees into your chest. We'll end as we started, bringing your feet down to the mat, dropping knees over to the left. Bringing your breath back in and out through the nose. Next, inhale, draw the knees into center, and then drop them off towards the right. Back in through center. Hug the knees into chest one more time. This time, lifting your head and your shoulders off of the mat, squeezing everything in nice and tight, contracting, even squeezing through the eyes, pursing the lips nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Release everything all the way down to Shavasana. Last pose. The legs are gonna come wide to the mat. Feet are flopping open like a book. Arms are by your side, palms facing up, fingers curling in naturally. Dropping eyes closed. Turn your head to the right and through center. To the left, through center. Tuck the chin and begin to melt into the mat. Begin coming back into your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, circling wrists and circling ankles. Next inhale, draw your arms up overhead, point those toes long, full body stretch. And then draw your knees into chest, one knee at a time. Give yourself a squeeze. Rolling onto your right side, pausing there for a moment. Yoga is not about the pose. It's not the alignment of toes or hips or shoulders. It's not about the form. Yoga is an invitation to explore, not a command performance. It speaks the language of the soul. In the flow of the breath and motion, yoga coaxes us from the confines of the known across the silent threshold into vastness. Yoga is the union of breath and movement, guided from inside. It is healing and the joy of saying yes to life. Breathe, soften, and feel the body receive its own truth. The seed of freedom flowers within each of us whenever we are open to what is real. Gently press yourself up to a seated posture, keeping your eyes closed. Bring hands by your side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Thank you so much for giving me the gift of guiding you through your practice. As you remember that you are the creator of your experience and you have the power of your breath to create whatever experience you are desiring. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you. Place your left hand on your belly, your right hand on your heart. Take a moment of gratitude for the breath under your left hand, the heartbeat under your right. And let's end today with one round of breath together. Inhale. Exhale.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jill. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Connect Valerie information and people can that way, and it was ahead and unmute yourself, or I don't know if I can unmute you.
Thank you, Jill.
Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Okay.